Welcome to the Changeover podcast. My name is Justin Roberts. Got my co-host over there, Jody Maginley, with the fresh lineup on the beard. Man.
Not so fresh anymore.
Yeah,
it was fresh at one
point.
Grow
back. We're recording this on Halloween. I do not celebrate Halloween. Jody, you?
But how come you don't celebrate it?
In my household, that was deemed to be devil worship and them kind of things. So that was not a part of the curriculum growing up.
Okay.
No trick-or-treating, no costumes, none of that. You?
Yeah, I celebrated it.
For real?
Yeah, but I mean, it's been a while, but yeah, I did.
Yeah, so no costumes today. Get started with a little bit of NBA news, a little bit different. But have you seen any of the betting scandal in the NBA with Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, and a couple other people getting clipped for betting?
No,
Nothing?
not too much.
Okay, so apparently Terry Rozier played for the Miami Heat a few years ago, and there's like these prop bets over unders, and apparently he was telling his friends when he would be coming out of games quickly, or if he would be scoring under a certain amount of points. It happened on one occasion actually, and apparently those friends went and placed big bets, and the FBI is under the impression that he did that as like a concerted effort to make some money. Like they found that they went back to the house and they counted the money up, and he made like a couple $100,000 from this bet. But what is interesting to me is, remember we had that episode with the betting where we talked about betting in tennis?
Yeah.
Part of why we thought people were doing this betting stuff, match fixing in tennis, is because not enough money in tennis. But I think there are 34 NBA athletes that they're kind of looking into right now for this not match fixing, but either the prop bets or fixing games or inside information stuff. So even rich athletes, people who are making considerably more than tennis players, are doing the same thing. So I think sports have to make a decision. I think it's getting to the point where how you see the betting companies are so involved now in sports, whether they're going to stick close to that and make the money from the betting and all those deals, or if they're going to try to create some distance between them and these companies, because it looks bad. I think it looks really bad on the sports right now. And you probably can attest to this. When you were in Vegas, there were probably some tennis players who you would know are pretty well off at the gambling tables, and ones who are not so well off.
The people who weren't well off were also at the gambling table.
Exactly.
So I was right there. I made $100. I was so excited.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's a little bit crazy that because we were talking about how there are some pressures as a tennis player with the financial side, but I think it has more to do with maybe an addiction thing. Like, because you see people having a hard time keeping themselves under control. Because I know some players who would be in Vegas who don't have that much money at a tournament, and I would hear they lost like $1,000 at the table last night. It's like, dog, what are you doing? Like, he was complaining about hotel rooms last week, and now you on the table. So I thought that was just interesting. Do you have any thoughts about how tennis should proceed? Because I know that I saw something on Roddick's podcast that the ATP just signed like a $300 million deal with some other betting company to have them involved with the ATP. So do you have any thoughts on how sports should proceed, or what your opinion would be on that?
Brother, I have no clue. I don't have the slightest of clue what needs to be done, to be very honest with you.
But I wonder if you could even stop it. Like, even if the betting companies come out of it, people are still probably going to be betting on on a personal level, like a one-to-one level, or like, I'm sure that there are like probably underground betting rings or whatever. Like, I don't know if they can actually regulate this thing to where they can eradicate it from the game. Because I wouldn't see any reason for somebody making, I think Terry Rozier had like around $100 million deal, and he's still allegedly doing that. And they have 30 other players that they're trying to pick up on. So
you think it happens in tennis?
At the highest level, I think that there's possibilities that it did happen here and there, but I think it's interesting. I'm curious to see how this is going to all unfold in the next year or so. But yeah, bro. And I wonder if in 5 or 10 years' time you will actually be seeing tennis players being able to get those contracts with companies directly, because I know in the NBA that they can. Like they just can't. They can't promote betting in their own sport, but they can talk about betting in football or tennis or whatever.
I think when it comes to these topics, there are people who are a lot more knowledgeable about the actual information than we are to talk on this stuff. So like we can have our opinions here, but I feel like a lot of the times our opinions are not going to be based on any type of actual like numbers and statistics and information. We're thinking about shit from the outside when there's so much information that we don't see that goes into the decision making.
Yeah. Hey, all the best to everybody. Stop. If you're match fixing right now, stop. They're probably going to catch you. They're probably going to catch you. And let's keep the sport clean. Before we get into the audience questions, the listener questions, Jamaica was just hit with a Category 5 hurricane. And a lot of people have lost their homes. Jamaica's going to have to rebuild a lot of communities. People were evacuated. And our good friend Dustin Brown is in Germany, obviously, and he's having a tennis exhibition to raise funds for Jamaica. It's happening on November 14th at the Stadion Rot-Weiss Köln, because it's in Cologne, Germany at 8 p.m. And obviously, if you're not in Germany, which probably very few of you are, you can also donate or help in sending goods by visiting supportjamaica.gov.jm. We put a link in the description if you want to help out. But prayers to Jamaica, and yeah, that's tough. I've been there. Well, I haven't been there before, but the Bahamas have been there before with a few islands where I know Freeport had to rebuild Abaco, where my aunt is from. So yeah, that's very tough times there. So all the best, and yeah, support in any way you can. We much appreciate it. Now, to listener questions. Justin Rodriguez is the first one. He's asking, how do you deal with a homie that makes terrible line calls without it getting too heated, Jody?
Who call someone, Justin, that does that? Who do we know that does that?
That makes horrible line calls? Well, in juniors, I can name a few names. Like back in the day, like as a young one, Shaq Taylor used to cheat.
So what'd you
do? Used to argue. I mean, I never argue with. Like if it's in practice, you laugh at them, you make jokes. But in a match, back in those days, all you could do was call the ref, and hopefully that the ref would see anything that was going on. I know people who would cheat back. So I know people who would, like, if you call them close on the line, the next ball goes in the middle of the court, they call it out. So they're like, I'm not taking this today. What else could you do with a cheater? That's the only two options I see. Either you get the ref involved, or you take it into your own hands, or you just play.
For the most part, no, you don't really see that anymore. And if that happens, you look at you're like, you really need it that bad. Like in practice, you're taking calls in practice, you need it that bad. Like, and I'm starting to learn that sometimes people do need it that bad, brother.
In practice?
That's the fact. What do you mean? Yeah, you need to take the confidence any way you can. Don't hit it that close to the line, bro. Don't put me in this position that I have to make a tough call. Come on.
And how do you deal with umpires making bad line calls?
You take a breath and you play the next point.
Enough on that one. Okay. Murphy Casson is asking about the luck factor. He's saying, for example, let's say Luna loses a match on his 26-match streak in the futures when he's playing against Kuru or someone else like that due to good or bad line calls. And he's winning, and I guess he ends that streak early. Does his career trajectory change? That's just an example, Leonatine. It could be anyone. Do you think that stuff plays a big role?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think you have to be lucky. I don't know how much. Like at some point, you're telling me in all of these matches, like let's say recent crazy shit that happened was like Val. You telling me Val wouldn't think that he was lucky at all in any of that? Like, he must have been lucky a fucking 10 times, 20 times, like so many times.
I'm sure probably, I would say yes. Most players, there's luck involved. So like the right win at the right time, or some guy withdraws, opens up a draw for you, and you get a deep run, and then all of a sudden your ranking jumps crazy, then you pick up confidence, whatever.
I'm talking about like even in a match, like there are times when you execute perfectly and it's great and stuff, but then there are going to be other times where like the person has a sitter, they don't make it. It's a big moment and it goes your way. Whereas like you did everything right, like it goes for you or against you. Like I believe that luck it definitely plays into it for sure. And that's why I'm of the belief that you have to try and put yourself in as many situations as possible to get lucky, like to give yourself a chance. That's the way I see it, at least.
Yeah, they say when preparation meets opportunity or something like that. But then there are also just players that are too good, and whether they mess it up this week or next week, eventually they would probably it will happen. So yeah, there is luck involved, but I think being good is better than being lucky. The next one, Gio. What if tournaments gave players the option to have a coach at the tournament that the tournament provides for free, like how the court of law provides a free attorney if you don't have one and can't afford one? Just a thought, and I wanted to share it. What do you think about that?
No.
You think it's a bad idea?
I think it's a bad idea. I think it is a bad idea.
What if?
How do I say this in a reasonable way? The way I see that is like, I know I briefly touched on like standards of tournaments in the past, but like certain standards of certain tournaments don't give you hope that, like, if you do something as important as providing a coach for you, like if the standards for other things, like let's just say the standards for the tournament transportation or the standards of food or the standards of, I don't know, like lines official, line calling, linesmen and lineswomen, or ball kids, like just things that tournaments provide, and some of them do a very, very, very good job, and then some of them do a not so good job. So how do you manage that when it comes to coaching? And then also a lot of coaching depends on your personality and if you connect well and stuff, and you don't want to just show up on the week changing coaches all the time and stuff. Yeah,
but it's not mandatory. It's just like it's there for you if you want it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like it's like, how would you know how are they gonna manage who's gonna be a good coach and a bad coach? Like
maybe they have a thing where before the event starts you can do like
I just think it's too.
You ever hear about them? I've seen it in TV shows like the speed dating thing where you sit at the table and you go to the next person.
If the speed date the coaches.
Yeah, you sit there and you talk to them for 10 minutes at a time and you see you might have a good click or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's a funny idea. I think in reality it wouldn't work, but I think that is maybe it's a good TV show. I don't know. Next, David Billing would love to hear your thoughts on the state of tennis currently. Everyone talks about the schedule, the court speeds, the variety of balls. What are some legit solutions to what everyone seems to complain about? I don't have any for you, David.
I think they should stop the tour, like all tournaments at some point. Like I think they need to make the off season longer and
mandatory. Like you can't keep playing on.
Yeah, and that's like tour events, challenges, futures, everything. I think it needs to stop, and I think maybe. I mean, I've seen stuff about them increasing prize money at challenges next year. That's only gonna, and also increasing the amount of challenges. So hopefully that allows people who are playing futures to be able to play more challenges and play up and earn more money, earn more points. So that would be good.
Is that at the 50, 75, 100 level, or is that only at the 175 like they did before?
No, I think 50s.
At 50s?
I think 50s is the plan.
Okay.
Which is, I think that's a good thing. Like, it's as long as they don't take away other tournaments, you know? If they're taking away 75s and put in 50s, like, I don't know if that's going to be a good thing. But if they're adding 50s, adding more 50s and giving more playing opportunities, like, and I don't even know if they necessarily need to do that, but I think that if they take the events that's in the later in the year, like maybe end of November and December and stuff, and take those events and move them like throughout the year, then it's just more playing opportunities in a less amount of time, and it would be better for everybody. That's what I think, at least. And obviously it's not that easy to do. Like they're signing contracts for years and years ahead, so I think real change is not going to happen for years down the road anyway. But I do agree that I think the season is too long. Like, they're trying to fix it now with they're stopping the points for the ranking change for Australia, so that people don't have to play so late into the season now and only have a small preseason before Australia starts. Like, first tournament of the year starts like sometimes last week of December or first week of January and stuff. It starts so quick.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I just think, and like the way I see that thing is like, okay, it's gonna stop the guys who want a longer preseason, that want to play Australia. But then everyone right under that, why wouldn't they play? Like why? Like people are gonna go down to these places like and play wherever they can as late as possible. And then if you don't do that, then you're sitting there looking like, fuck, look at me not trying to chase points that other people are gonna go and get in that area. Like I don't know. I think it's not, to me, it's not fair, like really, in the sense of like, if you want to play it, you can. So in that sense, it's fair, but also it's like so many people, you're causing people to choose between like playing late in the season and preparing properly for January for Australia. So
How long is the Premier League off season? You know?
the league ends in like May or June, and then it starts again in like August, September, something like that.
July, August, September.
Couple months.
So you think if we just shut down end of October and gave November, December off, it will be good? And then if you want to play exhibitions and stuff and make money, or they could have like, I know there's this league, what's it called, Intense or whatever. Maybe these people could have their things in that period, and people could try to make extra cash, whatever it may be, in the off season. That way, maybe it will be a little bit more uniform. Tennis and UFC actually has like a kind of a follow up to this. He says, what are your thoughts on top 10 ATP players complaining about the tennis schedule lately? These guys all have the money and rankings that everyone else would kill for, and no tournament is truly required for them to play. If they skip a required tournament, they lose some money and points. Meanwhile, everyone who has complained about the schedule is more than happy to play exhibitions for tons of money.
I don't know exactly how I feel. Like on one hand, I understand, like you want to maximize your playing years when your value as an asset is high, and try and make money and stuff. But then on the other hand, I do agree that the schedule is long. So I don't know, maybe it needs to be some sort of rule, like what we were just talking about. If they make the season a set number of months, and then the other months you can do what you want and do the exhibitions you want and stuff like that, that's fine. Like, but
yeah,
I do think that the season is too long. I do agree, and then I don't know if that has to do with the months itself or the points system, and like, especially now that I play doubles, I feel it even more extreme. Like I played from the summer, I played Cary, Winnipeg, Granby, Bloomfield, Lexington, Davis Cup. Then I took the 7th week off, but I went to US Open qualies. So that counts as a week off. Then I went Monaco, Cassis, Rennes. So that's 9 out of 10 weeks. I went straight from Rennes to Columbus. Then I went straight from Columbus to Vegas. Didn't get into Vegas. Took Tiburon off. Played Fairfield, Lincoln, Sioux Falls, Charlottesville. I'm going to go Knoxville, Drummondville, Guayaquil, and then either Temuco or Bogota. And I did play a lot of tournaments first half of the year as well, but that's my stretch of tournaments, and I'm still going to only play like 32 weeks out of the year, when doubles players are supposed to play like 35 to 40. So like, I haven't been home. I've been playing like almost every single week, and I'm not going to play enough tournaments. So yeah, I think, I don't know. I do think it's too long.
I agree. I think we all agree that the schedule is too long. But my issue with tennis and UFC's assertion that they're not required or whatever is, it's kind of like cutting people's pockets and telling them what they should and shouldn't do, because they're top 10 in the world for a reason. It's because, one, they're really good, but they're also ultra competitive, and everything is relative. So if they don't play the tournaments, they won't be top 10, and that's also not good for their career and their prospects going into these other slams and having to play seeds early and all these things. So it's a little bit of yes, they could not play because they will survive, but they're trying to have the best career they possibly can have, and it's hard to rest when your enemy is out there working, you know? So like if you want to be the best, sometimes that's part of it. Now, I understand when like you see Alcaraz skip a Masters and then he's going to play an exhibition the week right after. Like that comes across. Yeah, he did that.
What did he skip?
He skipped an ATP. He won Tokyo, and then he skipped Shanghai, and then he went to the Six King Slam. And I mean, obviously, it's for they're getting paid millions of dollars just to play 1 or 2 matches. Like, financially, it makes sense. And probably on the body, it's better for him, too. He plays 3 matches as opposed to having to play 5 or 6, whatever it is, to win Shanghai, it would have been. But then it comes across a little bit like you're saying, do they care about the money, or is it the points and these things? So I understand that part, but I think at the end of the day, it's their life, their career. They can do what they want. They're independent contractors, and if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. And I can't really have a problem with that. I think the issue comes more on the organization side, the ATP side, and them adding now another Masters 1000 with the Saudi Arabia. And I don't know what the effects of that will be, because I saw something about maybe they're going to buy back tournaments with that, and then they can open up more weeks, and they can do things with the schedule that way. I don't know. That would probably be good if they could somehow shorten the season by doing that, if they make enough money from this PIF investment. But yeah, bro, I think tennis has so many stakeholders that is probably the issue. Like, the NBA is the NBA, and they do what the NBA wants to do, and that's it. But tennis, you have ITF, ATP, WTA, you have, and then different tier levels of the tournaments, and then you have the slams. Like, it's so hard to get everybody on the same page when they all have their own bottom lines to appease. So I think it's gonna be messy for a while. I don't see it being cleaned up in any.
Yeah, the problem is because of, like, if you're seeing, whenever we get these emails of, like, the ATP has just signed a deal with whoever, or this person has been appointed for whatever, it's always like until 2028 or 2026, or like it's always like years down the road or something. And so it's like, imagine all of the different contracts and deals being signed and different plans they have and stuff. Like, when I just saw the announcement for the new Masters coming, I'm like, oh shoot, like new Masters next year, whatever. Like, no, it's gonna start as early as 2028. So like,
so these things,
and imagine that decision making becoming like, everything's being involved in that. So imagine things like balls. Like, how are we gonna standardize things like balls when there's so many different tournaments and different federations have different agreements with different ball companies and all this stuff? Like, yeah. I think the more I'm learning about this, like, bro, we got to go out there and just play tennis, bro. Like, we do not have control. Like,
I think it's not an impossible problem, but damn near. Like, how are you gonna get all these people on the same page at the same time? Unless one conglomerate can come together and just buy the whole thing and buy everything, and then they could do like that. But then who knows if they would be the best people to take that on, you know? So I don't know, man. We just gotta mind our business, I think. At the end of the day,
I was gonna say the other thing about, like, the bonus pool thing is, like, it feels not free money, but it feels like it's their money. Like, the players who all they need to do, and those, like the Alcarazes and Sinners and whatever, and they show up and play, it feels like it's their money to lose, in a sense, you know. So I understand from the sense of them saying, like, oh, they have these opportunities to play the exhibitions and the Six King Slams and whatever, but then they're gonna miss a Masters because of their body and whatever, and they're complaining about the season too long. Like, I understand that, because from the bonus pool perspective, it's like, this money is there for your taking, and all you have to do is go to the event and play it. Like, it's your money that's being missed out on, you know. And if it doesn't go to you, who does it go to?
But at the same time, it's a better investment financially for someone like Alcaraz. Okay, maybe I skip this ATP where I would.
I agree.
Yeah, I would make $500,000 more, where I could just get $6 million in this 1 week. Yeah,
I agree, and that goes for not even the Alcaraz. That goes for the other guys who are on the edge. You know, who are playing like the Lever Cups, who are playing like these tournaments and stuff. That whatever. But it just feels like when it's the bonus pool money, and I'm talking about, like, if I'm in the fucking bonus pool, but like, it's like that money is there for you. That's your money there. Like, all you have to do is play the tournament, and it's your money. Like, you're gonna get that money. So it's like that money has your name on it, and then now you don't play these tournaments, and you're not gonna get your money. Is what it from the outside is what it looks like, you know. So I can understand why they're annoyed that they're making a decision for them. Yes, whatever, they're gonna make more money, but it seems like, just give me my money, you know.
Yeah. What I don't like, but it doesn't really matter. But, like, the way the ATP positions these things is like the tour is making more money. Like, they're paying out more prize money to the ATP, but it's like 7 guys, 8 guys are getting more money, and everybody's getting the same kinda. Like when they do like they talk about the challenges made way more money this year, but it's just because they added the 175. It's not like they put more money into the actual challenges, because those 175s are like 250s, or even sometimes crazier. Like you have crazy names playing the 175s, or then they talk about they pit out X amount more prize money, but then it's like that's in the bonus pool stuff for the top guys who are gonna win those things anyway. So I feel like sometimes that stuff is disingenuous, and I think that could be better, but it's really not my business at this point in time. So yeah, all the best. Next one, Blake Langston. Does Vacherot doing well give you guys hope for your careers going forward? Do you have a favorite between Sinner and Alcaraz? If so, why? 2 questions. Sorry there.
The Val thing is, I don't know if I see the Val thing the way that everyone else sees it. Like, and I don't know him very well, and I didn't know him. I don't know his tennis well enough to be like, oh my God, he went from nothing to something incredible. Like, my point has always been that challenger tennis is really high level, and that's number one. Number one, like, challenger tennis has always been really high, especially the last couple of years. And point 2 is maybe he was a little bit better than a challenger player before, but he was a little bit injured and whatever. I don't know his full story, and I haven't gone through all of his results to know that. But from the conversations we were having early in the year, it seemed like he was telling me already how quickly he was getting back up the ranking after being injured and those kind of things. So I feel like maybe his ranking wasn't a real reflection on how good at tennis that he was. But for me, it's more of a show to everyone else that, like I said in the last podcast, maybe Val, what he did, maybe everyone can't do that. Obviously, what he did was incredible, but it just shows how good and entertaining tennis is lower down the rankings. And yeah, that's the whole point of the podcast, really, to why we started this in the first place. And that's kind of the message that I wanted to push from the beginning. It's like, if there are challenges in your area, if there are futures in your area, go check it out. Like go look and go watch tennis, because you don't know who around you is going to be the next big thing. He could have been playing in your city this year. Like, he played a bunch of challenges this year, and you didn't go and watch a challenger because you thought that it was, you know the reputation of challenges. Maybe our fan base, our audience has been like locked into our podcast for a while now, and you guys know how we feel about it, and probably you feel a similar way, but there are lots of people who don't feel that way. So that's what I try to encourage people, and that's kind of what I think about with the Vacherot thing.
Do you have a favorite between Sinner and Alcaraz?
I think Alcaraz. Sinner's like, bro, he makes it look too easy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like to watch like the fighting and the digging and like the running, scrapping, lifting the ball, drop shots, like sliding all over the place. Like,
to add to the Vacherot question, I would say, first of all, kudos to him, because it takes a lot of courage to have, let's say, those breakthrough wins. I think for him, even qualifying in Shanghai would have been enough. He would have left there being like, man, that was a great experience. But he was able to get big win after big win and keep believing and keep doing it. And when he actually was faced with the most pressure, which would have been in the final against his cousin, he still pulled through. So that's, for me, that's powerful. But then what hope it does bring is it's just a reminder of how quickly things can change in tennis. Because in a fortnight, the man went from 204 to 40. And now he's doing it again. The man is in the quarters this week in Paris, and he's probably going to be top 30 very soon. So he's just a testament to the fact that if you work hard and, like he did, believe, as you see through the text messages, and having a good support system with his girlfriend and all the people around him, his brother, his half-brother who's coaching him and all these things, that these things can happen. I think it takes a lot of work. I don't think it happens. I don't think it's luck in the sense of like he rolled out of bed and all of a sudden he won Shanghai. I think it's luck in the sense of he worked really hard for years and he believed in himself for years, and the circumstances met his preparation at the right time, which is when things can happen. So it is hope in the sense that if you take care of everything that you can on your side, that these things can happen. So it's hope, but it's also a reminder that put in the fucking work. Because we were talking in an episode about how much time he puts into the gym, into the fitness. And then I saw him in Temuco 2 years ago. Like, after every match, man doing reps, like, hitting a lot of balls. So, luck and hope, yes, but work, you know? That's
the people don't see.
Yeah.
First of all, they don't know him. They don't know his name, so they're not watching him. Yeah. And then also, you just don't realize just how much time and effort he puts in behind the scenes. And he's not unique. Like, there's a lot of people that are putting in a lot of time doing that.
Yeah, and if you go to these challenges, bro, it's so professional. Like, when you pull up there, everybody has their little team. Not everybody, but a lot of guys have their little team. And if they don't have their team, they're still doing all their routines every day. They put in a full day every day. And like, when these things happen, the person deserves it most of the time, because the sport is tough. The sport is really tough, and yeah, he has my respect. And at the time when I saw him at Temuco, or I saw him doing well in the challenges all these years, I don't know him well, like Jody said, either, but he also wasn't a guy that you would expect to be winning the challenger when he showed up. Like, he was a good player, and you knew that he could do damage on any match. He could probably push any guy, but to see him really go through and believe in himself and that to that extent is, that's it. Kudos to him. He deserves it, and you can see he's still believing after, even, as you could say, comes off the high a little bit. He loses to Fritz, which can happen. He loses number 4 in the world. He comes right back and he kills Lehechka, who is a fucking good tennis player, and then he beats Arthur again. Then he beats Nori, who just beat Alcaraz. It's like, nah, I think he's arrived now. Like, I don't think, like, I think he's quite comfortable where he's at right now. But yeah, and for me, favorite player between Sinner and Alcaraz, I'm always gonna go with the entertainer. Like, outside of the GOATs, my favorite players have been Monfils and Tsonga, and not just because they're black, but because it's fun to watch them play tennis. They have some of the highlight shots. They have personality, and I am somebody who will make jokes or laugh and smile on court, so I enjoy to see that. I like when Alcaraz does something funny on the court and you can see him laugh, or you can see him get a little bit pissed with his box. I like to see a human being on the court. I think Sinner is like that AI robot who is unbelievably good, and you have to respect it, and you're in awe of him, but I don't identify with him as a personality in the same way as I do with Alcaraz. So I gotta go with Carlitos on that front. Stacy Fung says, it would be cool to hear what you both have learned, implemented into your own careers from speaking to a variety of players. I think we've answered this a few times, but
Stacy doesn't watch the podcast, so
clearly. Should we send her to go watch some episodes, or should we just answer her question for her?
No, we should probably just answer, because there's some people listening. We can be brief.
Yeah. So recently, I think a little bit from the Greek sport episode, I took to heart when he was talking about there are days where you're just going to have to forget about you and focus on what can disrupt the guy on the other side. So if the guy's forehand is off, you play there. Forget feeling good and playing tennis that you like to play sometimes. Sometimes you have to just get the job done and be a little bit more practical and do what the guy doesn't like. And what I have also learned from this podcast is that, I mean, not even learned, I think it's just reinforcement, is that you have to find your path. I think we've heard tens of stories now of different people who have made it to similar heights, who have all done it in a slightly different way. I think every way involves a lot of hard work and sacrifice and consistency, but the things that they focus on, the routines that they have, the foods they eat, the way they train, it's all different, and they've sort of found their path and trusted in it and stuck to it. So I think that probably those two things are what I've picked up. You?
For me, I would say it's hard for me to remember every single episode. Like, we do one a week, and also we do all of the work on all of the episodes. So for me, a lot of the time it gets to be a blur. But all right,
working hard. Sorry. It's not the move today.
No, it's not. So, like, but the ones that stand out to me is like maybe, I think it was like Brandon talking about like never get too high, never get too low. So I remember that stands out to me. I think before I used to be a person that would get very negative and down and hard on myself when I lose. So that's one. I would say another one maybe is like, I remember Ethan talking about like playing to his identity, and like this is maybe for younger players who are growing up, but playing in the way that you think long term is going to be the way that you want to play and it's going to bring you success. And then obviously in recent episodes just talking about doubles with like maybe the identity of my doubles game with like Rajiv. Things like that kind of stand out to me in recent episodes. But I agree with what Justin's saying in the sense of everyone's different and have different processes and journeys and habits, but what doesn't change is the belief and the consistency and the drive that everyone has. So that would be my answer to that question.
Yeah, stick to your guns. Ethan Quinn, congrats to you, my brother. Crazy season, top 100. Man, qualify at every Masters he played. It seemed like any big tournament, taking down big names. Big up EQ. He's asking, give me your biggest fails on the podcast. He says rank 1 through 5. I don't know if we get 5 for you, but I tried to clarify it. Tried to clarify it. I was like, you wanted to shit on some players, some guests? So he said no. He said like losing episodes, starting to record and having to start over. Funniest one for me was we recorded, I think it was Colton Smith. We recorded Colton Smith in, not Pensacola, up north in Florida somewhere. Doesn't matter.
Was it this year?
It was Naples. It was Naples.
Yes.
We were staying, shout out to Ken Kingsley, hooked up with some housing. Jody and I recorded with Colton Smith. The next day, we came back to do the editing and all the admin work Jody was talking about 5 minutes ago.
Bro, it's late. It's like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. We working. Late. And both of us in our rooms working, doing different things, but we working.
I'm making thumbnails, whatever. And I'm in my bed, and all I hear... I don't remember what he said, but it was like, I can't believe I just did that. He said, I can't believe I just did that. I was like, dog, what happened? I come in the room, and he said that he saved 2 things with the same name and deleted one. And the one that he deleted was Colton's whole interview.
His video, all his video.
So when we record, everybody's device records exactly what was done in its quality. So that's what we get. That's what Jody gets, and then he edits that up. He lines them all up and he edits that. So Colton's whole interview, the audio, the sound, his face, all that, well, just the face really, is gone. So it would have been me and Jody on the screen and a black square of Colton there, which would have not made for a great YouTube video.
Now with AI, it would have been fine. We just put AI, make Colton Smith talking.
Yeah, but the panic in Jody was hilarious. Like
12:13 in the morning.
It was
I was supposed to drop it the next morning, and I felt the reason why I felt the most like guilty was like not because we're gonna lose it, like it was a good episode, not because we're gonna lose it, but the fact that we wasted Colton's time. I was like, how am I gonna go to Colton and be like, yo, sick, great episode, we had a lot of fun, it was a good episode. We're gonna have to do it again though because I deleted it. Like
the funniest thing for me is like for me in those scenarios it's like, if you don't laugh, you could cry. But it wasn't funny to Jody at all. I feel like, like I was in the bed laughing, like, yeah, that's just too good. But he was able to lie to the Riverside customer service, and they sent us their version of it, and everything worked out.
But we have other ones, bro. We have like
the cameras we used to have.
Yeah, go on.
We had these little baby Sony cameras compared to what we use now, and they didn't have fans, so they would overheat. And there was a time in Trinidad, I remember we were trying to record an episode with Oscar Ohoshin, or however you say his last name. And we had to record it like 4 separate times. And eventually I think we recorded it on my iPhone, or one of the videos.
Why you say, or however you say his name? You know that's how you say his name.
Ohoisin, Ohoshin, whatever.
You know exactly how to say the man's name. Why are you doing the man dirty?
I have to disrespect the man every time. And eventually I think we recorded it on an iPhone because it was too hot in the the country, I guess. We couldn't get the room cooler, and we couldn't record more than 10 minutes because it kept happening. So he stayed there for like 4 or 5 hours because we tried to keep. What we tried to do? We tried to like recharge them because they run out of battery.
I think at first we didn't know because the first episode we ever recorded was like 20 minutes. So it was okay. So now AC is 20 minutes is fine. But then when we started to do the longer episodes, they started dying. We didn't know why. They were like, oh, maybe we have to keep them plugged in. Maybe the battery just dies really quick. But we didn't know that they were overheating because they were vlog cameras. But we had more. Like we had episodes with Zeke that it kept happening. The room was too hot and it kept overheating.
Oh, in that pink room in Mexico.
Small, tiny pink room in Mexico. We're all sweating our asses off in the room. Like disgusting. And then we had episodes where like, we'll record the full episode, and I'll be like, guys, I didn't start the audio recording. Like, we don't have anything.
Bro, yeah, the audio, yes. But they also had episodes where we recorded it, and then I think, I remember one time specifically, we recorded a whole episode. It probably was at the time like 30-something minutes, and I just remember saying, like, that was shit. Like, we have to do that again. Like, it was just a really bad episode. Like, let's just
And there was one where it was myself, AJ, and you, and we recorded the episode, and it was around the time when Roddick was talking about like
the tennis channel thing.
He was like, there was a tennis channel thing about when the percentage of people who think they can win a game off of a pro or something. And Roddick said something about, I don't remember what joke he made. Like maybe
800 in the world. You better start winning some matches because you're not making any money at 800, something like that.
Yeah. I just remember we recorded the episode, and I was fucking pissed, and I was popping off, and then I was like, we finished it, like, I can't.
Yeah, you say you can't release
this. Yeah, no.
What's more?
I'm not trying to beef nobody, bro.
There's been parts of episodes that were taken out because maybe I went a little bit too far with some jokes on a guest, I remember. That was funny to me. That was not good.
But that wasn't like a fail. That wasn't a fail.
A fail. We had to record an episode over when we were in... what's that place? Was it South Bend or...
Is that Notre Dame?
Yeah, South Bend and Notre Dame with Oscar again, where he's retired now. I think he doesn't care anymore. I'll ask him. Maybe cut this out. But we were talking about if Dominic Thiem could get back to the top 5 in the world or something like that, right? Get back to his prime after his wrist surgery. And Oscar just shits on Thiem for 10 minutes. And I think it would have gone viral. It would have been incredible content. But we decided that that's not the podcast we were going to be. This is early days. So like we were deciding whether we were going to be the podcast that would talk about players or just talk to them. And that would have been a bad way to talk about a legend of the game, a Grand Slam champion. Like he let him have it. And,
Bro, imagine Thiem seeing Oscar talking about him, like, who the fuck?
Yeah, but those are actually some of the funny things you look back on because it's come a long way, man.
We had one with Tstisipas actually. So at the end of every episode that we record, right now we're on this program called Riverside, and when the episode is done, there's like a little percentage uploading of the same file that Justin was just talking about, and you have to like not quit the program right away. So there was just a miscommunication at the end of the Tstisipas episode where maybe we told him not to leave or something, but then at the end Justin's like, okay, you can go or something. He ended up leaving, and the upload was at like 88% or 90 something. Like it was almost done, and this was Friday, and we had to drop it Saturday or something. Mm-hmm. He quits it. It gets paused. I text him, doesn't answer. I call him, doesn't answer. I call the manager. Yeah, I call the manager, doesn't answer. I'm like, oh my god, bro! Like we can't work on it. So then the next morning I wake up, and as soon as I wake up, the first message I see sent like 1 minute ago is the manager saying Steph is he's on the link now trying to upload it for you. And he was in a country where Riverside didn't work actually. So we were using another program that was just like Riverside. So we don't really know how to use this one. Like the user interface is different. So I wake up out of bed. And if he's there now, so I need to hurry to the laptop to make sure I get the file complete. So I get there, go in the link, and I didn't know that it was about to start the camera and shit again. So now it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm shirtless in my boxers, and it's me and Tstisipas, and he's on the couch and stuff. And I was like, dog, I did not expect to see this man's face at 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, but then we end up getting the record. And I think only the end of the episode we didn't get to say, but everything else came out good. So,
man, so many times I don't know so many times, but we used to like post the player's picture on the story and say questions for this guy we're recording with this week, and then it wouldn't happen. The episode just wouldn't happen. So we would just be pump faking the audience sometimes. I remember that. That was the thing we used to do. And then recently we've just been late almost every week. So maybe I should change the.
We haven't been late.
Bro, we've not dropped at 7 a.m. Like in the last 10 episodes, probably like less than a quarter of them have been on time. It's been like a day late, or it's been like 3 p.m. It's been. I think we should maybe take out the 7 a.m. Just say Saturdays.
just shoot for Saturdays.
We just drop Saturday. Yeah.
Until we buy Starlink.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely more than we're forgetting. But it's been a fun process to try to get decent at this thing. Yeah, thanks for the question, Ethan. Next one. Rick, what are your goals as far as players for next year and goals for the podcast?
My goal as a player is I would like to play the slams. And my goals for the podcast is, I don't know if I've really set goals like that. Maybe get the podcast to the point where we can spend more time in the areas of the business that we enjoy and less time on things like editing and packaging and stuff that we're not experts in. Maybe we can hire some experts to do that for us, so that we can spend more time just figuring out guests and what we're going to talk about and just improving as hosts and improving the podcast in that way. That's what I think about, at least.
My goals for the podcast are that we just continue to keep making good stuff, because I think from that, if you stay on that process, which we have been doing in my opinion, I think the brand deals, the money, the hiring more people, I think that we can, I think everything starts with the product and us enjoying doing it, because I think that comes across to the audience, and then that's why people like what we do. So I think for me, it's important that we continue to have the people on and the conversations that we actually enjoy and are interested in and curious about. And I think if we continue to do that and enjoy it, I think good things will happen. And on the court, bro, I just want to be healthy. I think when I'm healthy, I can do good things, but it has not been that way for me for a while. So we just got to keep plugging away.
You played a lot this year.
Good amount.
I mean, I understand like last week and maybe a little bit earlier, but this is the most tournaments you've played since you were pro, no? Like, how many tournaments you played this year?
Not sure. But I missed January, and I missed 2 months with a wrist, and now my back. Probably, I don't know, 10, maybe 15.
It says 20.
Shouldn't have played some of them either. But yeah. But I'd like to be just healthy and playing. But I think the end of this year could be good. If I can get the back sorted out now and I can play... What's next? Is Mexico, Manzanillo 25. And then potential to get into some challenge at the end of the year, which would be a fun way to end the season. Maybe we'll be in the same place at the same time, which would be cool. It's been a while since we've done that. But yeah. All right, Josh Zoltek. Bublik-Moutet beef is spicy. So I saw they had an exchange in Phoenix early in the year in the Challenger, the 175, where like they basically threatened like, let's go outside and fight after the match, which for me is funny because Bublik is like 6'5" and Motet is like 5'9". So
but Motet looks scrappy, bro.
He is scrappy, but I just don't know. I don't know. But then after this match here, apparently before the match, Motet was saying he's going to do everything he can to send Bublik home. And then Bublik beats him. And then the post-match conference, he says to the interviewer, he spoke too much before the match, so I'm glad he gets to go home now. And it's a short taxi ride from here. He lives in Paris, something like that. And then I think Motet said something about he likes to talk in front of the camera, but I know who he is, like not in front of the camera. Whatever. I think it's all funny. For me, it's all funny because I just don't see them ever fighting, and I think nothing's going to happen to anybody. But do you think that these kind of things are good for tennis? Like people having genuine rivalries and not liking each other?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah, bro. It just builds storylines. It makes people want to go and watch. Yo, Bublik and Motet are gonna play again. Like for sure, we're gonna. Yeah, that's good stuff.
I want Motet on this podcast, but I appreciate him because I think he doesn't care also. Like Bublik in a similar way, but a few times this year I've seen him on the last couple of years have issues with either crowds or players. Like I saw him this year, Miami with Tabilo.
Yeah.
He was hating the Chilean crowd. Tabilo won that one, and that was a little spicy too. And then actually in Chile when he was there, he was like chirping the crowd crazy after matches too, like giving them the air. Like I think I enjoy that stuff. People probably don't like it that much because I think they reminds them some of like Kyrgios antics, but I also like that stuff. I think that stuff is actually fun. Like when Kyrgios played Tsitsipas in Wimbledon, like those kind of chippy environments. I think tennis lacks. I think from time to time. I think it's too friendly all the time, and yeah, I think that stuff is funny. We'll do one more before we get out of here. If you could coach each other, what would you have him do?
I mean, I don't think I would have Justin do anything that he's like. There's nothing that I would have him do that he's not trying to already do. Like, I think Justin's already, first of all, struggled with consistency of like health and a stretch of tournaments to play. So that can't be easy. And then because of that, obviously, he's not first year out of school anymore. I'm sure there's doubts and stuff about, just if he'll be able to be healthy and play again. So I understand. I don't know if I can fully relate to it because I had one serious injury and it lasted me like 6 months to a year, and I was back playing and I was completely fine. So I don't know how it feels for it to be a consistent uncertainty for years. So, and I don't know what the answer is in terms of health for him, but I can understand why he's the way he has been. So again, like what Justin said earlier, I would just hope that he can just give himself a fair shot, because it's hard to problem solve anything really when you don't have enough time to really address the issue. Because as soon as something happens, like in the game, whatever it is, you don't have enough time to fix it and be like, okay, this is what happens in a certain situation. This is how I combat it. This is what I need to do. You can't really address it when every few weeks to months you're dealing with, something on the body that you have to try and address. So, yeah, number one is just for Justin to get healthy, and then that's win number one. And when he can be consistent and play a bunch of matches, then we can, address some of the other areas of why he hasn't been able to replicate the form that he had in college or like early on in his professional career. That's my answer to that. God bless.
For Jody, it would be more of a mental, emotional thing, in my opinion. The best I've ever seen Jody is when he's off court and away from the court. Or even on the court, actually, where things seem light. He mentioned earlier that sometimes he could be negative on himself and things can get kind of heavy. Whenever I've seen him sort of like doing the work, but being goofy and talking a lot of shit and laughing and just kind of being in the... We talked a lot about moods early on when we started working with our coach now, Chris. I think when he's in a certain mood, better things happen for Jody. And I think obviously he can improve a few things, and I think he has. Like the volleys have improved a lot. The serve even, which was always good, but I think now it's become like a pretty reliable weapon in most cases. Obviously, there's some things he could do better probably with the backhand still, but who gives a fuck? It's doubles. Like, you can probably hide that in most cases. Or if you have the right partner, you can kind of find ways to do whatever. But I think a lot of it has to do with the confidence and the mood. When he can stay in a certain mood, I think he performs better. So I think I would have to become more of a performance coach more than a tennis coach, in my opinion. For my good friend Jody over there. And actually see when I want to answer. Hugo Hernandez is asking, what is your favorite tennis movie or show? For me, it's Baby Steps, cheesy but accurate on the field during a match. I've never heard of Baby Steps, and I don't think I've ever watched a good tennis movie or show, but I have seen. Back in my younger days, I would be on YouTube, and there was this show, like an anime called Prince of Tennis. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's like a little like Japanese anime, and like, you know how they have you ever seen anime or like Dragon Ball Z or anything like that?
Yeah, yeah.
So they be playing tennis, but they do all the slow mos and like the action shots like anime, and sometimes I think it was pretty funny and it was good, pretty good show. So I would say that's probably the best thing I ever seen to do with tennis, but. That movie that came out the other
King
year.
Richard was good.
Who?
King Richard?
Yeah.
That was good.
Maybe that one. Yeah. But Challenges, that Zendaya shit was garbage. Sorry. Garbage. I saw another like a Wimbledon movie.
But is that garbage because of you as a tennis player, but do other people like that from like
I think also the movie was stupid.
Okay.
For me, as an avid moviegoer, I just didn't understand like some of the things, but maybe it just wasn't made for me and my demographic.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, is there people who they watch it like, wow, that was good? Like who would have liked that movie?
To be fair, when I went into the theater, it was a lot of young, like early 20s girls.
You know what I mean?
So like it probably just wasn't for me. You know, it was for Zendaya fans. So, and it got good ratings. So maybe it did its thing. But to end, well, you know how I've been watching Brilliant Idiots since like 2016, right? I was on YouTube the other day, and I see a Brilliant Idiots video pop up, and I click it, and I go just to check to go to their page, and I see I'm not subscribed. I've been listening to and watching this podcast for 10 years, and I haven't subscribed. And I ask people every week on this channel to subscribe to our channel. So don't be like me. Click the button. And just support the boys, man. We're trying to get to, where we at now, 13? Let's get to at least 15 before the year end. Let's get to 15K. Yeah, Jody, what's next for you?
Knoxville, Drummondville, Guayaquil, and then one more to end the year. So I go to Drummondville tomorrow. Yeah, end of the year. A couple more indoors before I go indoor hard to outdoor clay, and then that'll be it to end the year.
Love it. Yeah. So I'll leave hopefully in about a week and a half to go to Mexico for 25. Hopefully meet him down there in Guayaquil, and then maybe Temuco or Bogota. I don't see anything else on the schedule in this region after that. If the
end of the year, bro.
If Dominican, but Dominican always pops up early December, bro. That's the routine normally. So if that pops up, I'll go play that. But if not, that'll be it. Yeah, man. Everybody, thanks for listening, watching, and supporting the boys. And we'll be back next Saturday at some point. I'm not gonna tell you 7 a.m. because we've been lying to you a lot. But also, if you do remember or you do want to, do go and support Jamaica, donate. Click that link in the description, and praying for Jamaica. Thank you.